Hi everyone! Today we're going to be talking about the benefits and uses of the metronome and why you should be using this in your everyday practice. So the first benefit of using the metronome is tempo accountability. We want to have a nice steady tempo when we're practicing, when we're learning music, or even when we're getting close to performance time. The second reason we should be using a metronome is so we're always moving forward. When you have an initial read through of a piece, or you're getting close to performance time, we don't want to have to stop and start at mistakes. We want to be able to move forward, keep it going. The third reason is for rhythmic accountability. So when I have that metronome going, let's say on quarter notes in 4/4, that will often help my rhythm. But what if I had it going on eighth notes in 4/4? That's going to really lock in things like eighth notes and 16th notes even further. Also, there's no excuse not to have a metronome. A lot of us have smartphones or access to even the computer. We can download apps and use metronomes really easily compared to even 10 years ago. So let's talk about first how to use this metronome. So I use my phone. I just have a free app on my phone. And let's talk about simple meters. So let's use an example like 4/4. So we'll start by setting our metronome to the quarter note. I want you to come up with a counting system. If I see 4 quarter notes, I know that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take it a level further in division. Eighth notes, we would count them 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 16th notes, 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. So you want to come up with a counting system that's seamless. If you fall into a tricky rhythmic spot, you have your counting system to rely on. So let's say we have a musical excerpt that has 2 quarter notes, 4 16th notes, and 2 eighth notes in 4/4. Let's first turn on our metronome to 50. I would encourage my students to find the smallest subdivision and count that aloud or think it before playing. In this case, we're going to count 16th notes. And 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. So now I have that internal pulse of the 16th notes going. So now we'll count a measure and then we'll try the musical example. And counting 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, example. And 1, 2, 3E and a, 4 and. So just by turning on that metronome, we were able to figure that out pretty quickly. Now, let's say our 16th notes weren't spaced quite right. How can we fix that? Let's turn on the eighth note. Some metronome apps won't let you do division if they're free, so we can just multiply by 2 in this instance. If my quarter note is 50, I'll turn the metronome up to 100, and that would be my eighth notes. So right now clicking 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I would go through the same process. Count a bar of 16ths with the eighth note going, then play your musical example. I do this constantly in my daily practice. So when I get behind the marimba, I might turn on the quarter note first. So this is the quarter note at 90. So I'm going to count first and then play a little bit. 1E and a, 2E and a, ready and a, go-E and a. So let's say I rushed a bit during that section. There's also instances of 16th note triplets that would line up perfectly if the eighth note was on the metronome. So I'm going to turn my metronome up, double time to 180. It would sound like this. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let's try the same thing with the eighth note really holding me accountable. And 1E and a, 2E and a, ready and a, go-E and a. That's going to show a lot more possibility of the 16th note wasn't quite lined up than with the quarter note going. So use the metronome in all sorts of situations to really hold yourself accountable and further your musicianship.